Why are some people so threatened by the success of the Superman movie? And why has David Corenswet's costume been removed from the Warner Brothers studio exhibit? Let's break it all down and what it all means. I'm Steve Eunice. Welcome to Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. This is our October 27th, 2025 show, and joining me at the moment is just Mark Lax. Welcome, Mark. How you doing?
Hello, Steve. How are you?
Not too bad. We're just waiting on Michael Bailey, who's just running a few minutes late, but he will be with us shortly. And as soon as he does get in, we will welcome him to the show. Here he comes right now. I will bring him in. Welcome, Michael Bailey.
Oh, I was supposed to be on another live. I'm sorry.
Are you cheating on us, Michael?
I just no. I am not cheating on you.
Welcome to the show. How have you been this week?
Oh, it's been a crazy week, but that's okay. It always is, isn't it?
Always is. We say that every week.
I mean,
There's
look at
just
this
so
hair.
much going on.
I chance to brush my hair
But
after
I
work.
wouldn't
today,
know
so.
what that's like.
I haven't shaved either, so
Yeah, you guys are letting the show down. Like one's got disheveled hair and one's not unshaven.
Yeah, that looks
It's like, come on, guys. That's why people tune into this show. Is for the good-looking three guys that are rocking up every week.
Yeah.
No,
I don't think that's ever been in one of the reviews, Steve. So,
very
Hey,
funny.
Celeste.
All right. Well, let us get into tonight's topics, and before we do that, let's get into some of the housekeeping out of the way. We want to thank our sponsors and our patrons, our Superman champions, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, Tina Murray, Rick Schutzow, Jamie Klingensmith, and Cara Lucker. Thank you so much for your financial support of this show. You keeping it free for everyone. So thank you so much for your support. And if you'd like to join those folks and have your name read out at the beginning and end of every show, then you simply have to go to patreon.com/Superman homepage, where there are different levels of membership with different levels of perks. Jamie Klingensmith laughingly said, "That's right, Steve. That's why everyone tunes in for the three good-looking guys rocking up on their screen each week." But Michael, we do like the fans to get involved and maybe to show their good-looking heads on the show in the next hour, and they can do that by following your very simple instructions.
Oh, it's really dirt simple. supermanhomepage.com/live. And you can press the call now button and be allowed into the green room. You can watch the show while you're waiting to be on the show. It's really convenient. You can also scan the QR code with your phone, which is I've never actually tried that. It's
Considering you're on the show,
I guess my
it's quite
question
a bit hard.
Well, my question is, and I'm not trying to kill the show before we start. Do you scan it on like a computer screen and then turn the computer off and use your? I don't know. Anyways, you can use the QR code to also get on. A couple things, as always. If you are listening to the show on your laptop or desktop through external speakers, we're going to ask you to mute those or turn the volume down when you're actually on the show, because we're on a bit of a delay, and that creates a problem. And if you use your smartphone to talk to us, please use your headphones or your AirPods or whatever, because the speakerphone thing just doesn't work.
Yes, and if you're a little bit shy and you don't want to get on the phone or call us tonight, then feel free to participate in the comments. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube tonight, so you can have your say there. Michael, Mark, and I can react to your comments and answer any questions you might have as the show goes along. Super Billy in the comments on YouTube says, no super chat option, I see. Yeah, sadly, a few months ago, YouTube, in their wisdom, decided to demonetize our YouTube channel, which makes it impossible for us to accept super chats or super stickers and those kinds of things. At the moment, we have to wait a few months to reapply for that. So that's why we don't promote the membership on YouTube anymore, because it was taken away from us for silly reasons. They said we were duplicating other people's content, which obviously we don't, because we are obviously going live and doing this kind of thing, and the speeding bulletin So yeah, we just have to wait and see if they will allow us back into their monetization program come December, I think it is at this point in time. So just waiting for all that to clear and reapply.
Can I ask a question of one of our commenters as well? And I've thought this since she started popping up. JK Crypto Fan 76. Is that just kidding, crypto fan? Because that's usually what JK means, like in tech speak. JK, not JK. I mean, I'm sure it's like initials and stuff, and I'm
It
being
is
kind of silly
initials.
here, but
That is Jamie
but
Klingensmith, who is one of our.
that's Jamie. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I apologize. I
no,
was
it's a
not
good
aware
question.
of the secret identity.
Yeah, we just outed her. Yeah, so yeah, that clears that up. Michael, John Patrick Van Pelt says you can scan the QR code with your phone while you're watching the
Yeah.
thing on the computer, I guess. So
yeah, because then I don't know. You guys have probably scanned QR codes before.
yeah, I think
I'm
Michael's
assuming you both have.
I think your confusion was that if you're watching it on your phone, how do you scan the thing on your phone?
Yeah, that's my that's my issue. Is just like it's like there's a thing at work that says, okay, you're on your phone, with this app to do something at work, and it says, okay, scan the QR code, and you're staring at your phone, going, okay, there's there's a disconnect in the technology here.
Yeah, I think these days they allow you to actually click on a QR code, like when it's on your screen, you can just kind of
Well,
Anyway,
I used to when I used to phone in, I would take the picture of the QR code, I'd hit it, and it would bring me,
Okay.
but I'd be watching on my iPad. So when you guys
Okay.
connected me to be on my phone, I turned on my iPad, and that's how I did.
Yeah, so you do have to have multiple devices. It
Yeah.
does seems a bit trickier to be doing it all on the one thing, but
I mean, there might
there
be a
you have
way
it.
now to do that, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. All good. All right. Well, let's get into tonight's topics. And if you are watching via Instagram and you want to see the full picture, just go to supermanhomepage.com/live. I'll put that up so you can see those instructions. But tonight's topics, we are talking about the movie Superman, which is obviously now on streaming. And last week we spoke about how in 3 days it jumped to number 4 spot on the Nielsen ratings charts. Now we've got the details for the second week of its release on streaming, and it jumped to number 2 in the top 10 movies list on Nielsen's streaming rankings for the week September 22nd to 28th, and racked up an impressive 569 million minutes of watch time on HBO Max. It sat just behind the all-conquering K-pop Demon Hunters, which was it's Netflix's all-time most watched film in the company's history. So I'm not surprised that it still was number 1 ahead of Superman for that week.
Yeah, there's no way Superman's overtaking K-pop Demon Hunters on Netflix as far as streaming. I'm sorry, mainly because K-pop Demon Hunters was a streaming exclusive, so it's not like it was in a theater and then people had a chance to watch it there, and then now if they didn't, they have a chance to watch it here. So, and it's apparently got I'm not sure. I have no evidence of this. There might be subliminal stuff making you watch it again and again and again. However, I will say, I'll take the win on number 2 here for Superman, because as old men complain about all the time, outside of these kids are on our lawn, the fact of the matter is that we've gone through a lot where Superman was not as popular, and if it's number 2 under K-pop Demon Hunters, I'll take that. I mean, it's like being number 2 under Taylor Swift. I mean, it's just it's a good place to be.
I have not yet to watch K-pop. I will.
You should.
I just haven't.
It's catchy.
I'm sure it is.
My life is about to be engulfed with Hazbin Hotel season 2 coming to Prime in a couple days. So that's where I'm going to get my catchy tunes from in terms of streaming for the next month.
Very good. So yeah, look, it's tracking really well on the Nielsen's charts for streaming, and it's only just been knocked off the number 1 spot on HBO Max in the top 10 movies here in Australia. with the release of what was just came out. Something big came out on on HBO Max this week. It's I can't think of it at the moment, but it had been number one for the longest time on HBO Max here in Australia. So and it's still number two. But well done to everybody involved.
To answer John Patrick Van Pelt's question, I cannot say I consider myself a fan of Taylor Swift. That is not to say that I disliked Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
It's
You're
just
not really the
it's just not my
demographic.
music. Yeah, I'm not really the demographic. Though I will say, 10 years ago when Blank Space came out on her 1989 album, I was like, that was the first time I was just like, this is a really good song. I'm not a Swiftie in any
Yeah.
sense of it. I have only room in my heart for one character with an S at the start of the name, and that's why I'm here every week. So
There you go.
Don't get me started on Taylor Swift, but that's another story. I don't hate her. No.
Do you have a familial blood grudge with her, Mark? What the hell's going on?
I can go on, but I won't. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate the girl, but it's just.
It's gonna be forever.
Anyway, go ahead.
You guys remember? You guys remember though when there was like that rumor circulating that she was gonna play Supergirl in something?
Yes, I think I started that one.
Yeah. Hashtag. She is going to be Power Girl in the new DCU. We're starting that rumor right now, so we can take credit for it later.
Don't think she has the proper shape.
Acting, yeah. Well, shape, no. Okay, yeah. On the one hand, she's got a shape, but on the other hand, it's not a Power Girl shape.
No, before we get inundated by Swiftie fans who are just gonna kill us for saying anything.
No, it's me. I'm the one. Sorry.
But just quickly on HBO Max, Weapons, when it got released, it was the one that took the number one spot from Superman. So,
are you saying, Mark, that it's you? Hi, you're the problem. It's you.
Oh, please.
What? No. I'm not even trying. No.
Michael's going with the lyrics. It's all good. Michael's showing what he actually knows.
I'm literally on day 6 of a 9-day stretch. I am completely fried tonight, so I do not know what's going to happen in the next 40 minutes. So.
We apologize, folks, for Michael's behavior tonight if he says and does anything that's inappropriate by the sounds of things. Fair warning. Yeah. Disclaimer. All right. So talking about the movie Superman, Warner Brothers have gone all out for the awards categories that it's nominating Superman for your consideration campaign. Has been a huge launch this past week. They're positioning the film for major awards across different categories for the Oscar categories. Things like Best Picture, Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Casting, Best Cinematography, Best Film Editing, Best Production Designer, Best Visual Effects, Best Costume Design, Best Makeup and Hairstyling, Best Sound, Best Original Score, Best Original Song. That's an interesting one for the Mighty Crabjoys.
Okay, that I actually wanted to get nominated for that. No, somebody, I think it was the House of L guys, posted the image from back when Superman Returns came out, and they launched a campaign. This is very common for studios to do this kind of thing. Do you guys think it's really Oscar worthy? It's a serious question.
Well,
wow, that was fast.
I started it, so let me say, I as far as editing and special effects and all that kind of stuff, absolutely, no question. As far as anyone in the cast, I'd single out Nicholas Hoult as maybe best supporting actor. I could see that. As far as best picture, it's a superhero movie. It's a fun, action-packed superhero. No, it's a comic book brought to life. Okay, and it's done. I mean, there's just there's so much special effects, and it's a quick movie, and it's fast moving, and it's just not the kind of movie necessarily that would either get nominated or at least would win. I mean, I know movies like, Lord of the Rings and things like that, but that's a little different. I mean, this is just packed with so much. It's a great movie, but I don't know. The Academy thinks so differently, and I mean, would I want to nominate it for Best Picture? Sure, but the Academy looks at things so differently. Like comedies, like great comedies, they won't put that in. They really not anymore. They used to, but they don't. They won't put great comedies rarely in Best Picture categories anymore. It's a big movie. Yes, I mean, I think the special effects, editing, cinematography, all that stuff could very well be nominated. Nicholas Holt, absolutely. I mean, David Corenswet and Rachel Brosnahan were fantastic. I don't know if I'd say it's Oscar worthy, but they were great. But I mean, again, Nicholas Holt, and maybe I'm trying to think who else could. The acting. I don't know. I'm just trying to say that I don't think, as far as the Oscars go, that it's the type of movie they would think of as a best picture.
Yeah, look, I would be with you there. It's usually more serious dramas and things like that.
Yeah,
that get considered for best picture. But look, if you're going to put it up for anything, put it up for all of them. But I definitely think that it would, for the visual effects and things like sound and original score, film editing, those kinds of ones which are very subjective, they could definitely be contenders for and may definitely be nominated for. Remember, this is not for nomination. This is for consideration for nomination.
Yeah.
So people who are asking, how can you vote for these? This is not for us. This is not for the public. This is for the critics, the people in the industry, to therefore for the Academy, the people who are members of the Academy to then vote for, to say if they think it should be nominated. And then after that, if it gets nominated, it goes up for votes within the Academy and everybody who's part of the Academy. But other than that, it's not a popularity contest as far as fans getting involved are concerned. So yeah, it's not something that we can vote on. But what they do, Warner Brothers has scheduled multiple screenings for Academy voters across. Let's see, they've got New York, Los Angeles, and various locations in Los Angeles, where members of the Directors Guild of America, all those kind of different guilds within the Academy can then go and watch at these venues to consider them for those different categories that it is being put up for consideration. So it's a lengthy process, and I understand them putting it up for all of them and just saying, hey, for your consideration. And then maybe the film gets nominated in 2 or 3 of those categories for possible an award.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree that normally the Oscars don't go for these types of films. I think one of the only reasons, and this has nothing to do with the caliber of the performance, I think one of the reasons why Heath Ledger got a bit, some consideration at the Oscars after he passed away for Dark Knight was because he passed away. I'm not sure they would have really gone for it that way. I could be wrong. The Oscars are weird just because it's so year to year. You never there's never like a consistency to what gets nominated. And there's a lot of political, not like political as in, politics, but just politics of movie making and all that. And, Mark's right. Movies like this Superman won't get nominated for Best Picture. Do I think it should get nominated for Best Picture? That I can't say because I don't see other movies. That's the other thing, is that I don't have a basis of comparison to say, oh, this is so much better than every other movie that came out this year, because I haven't seen any of the movies that came out this year except for this one. Now, we're going to be going to see Wicked next month, or Wicked for Good.
Hmm.
Not that we're going for like our entire lives. That's the name of the film. But and I'm sure that's going to get some Oscar consideration because it's a big time musical type thing. Uh, but that's where I kind of sit on it. It's just like I'm not opposed to the idea of it getting nominated for Best Picture. Somebody mentioned in the comments best original score. Can we consider this an original score?
Yeah, that's true.
Original.
I mean, I mean, and that's being pedantic, but it's not. I'm still kind of salty that John Williams lost out to Giorgio Moroder in 1979 for the Superman score because he was nominated for Midnight Express. And again, not saying that was a terrible score. I'm just saying it's John Williams. It's Superman the movie. I will die on this hill. But I don't know if you could really consider this. I mean, like I was listening to some of it the other day. The use of the Williams theme throughout it is much more varied than Superman Returns. I've seen some people saying that it wasn't, and I'm like, did we listen to the same score? because I've listened to both scores pretty extensively, and I think we get more of the total of the Superman theme outside, through the course of the film than we did in Superman Returns. And it's the original bits are good, but are they Oscar worthy? I don't know if I would say that either.
Yeah. Someone in the comments has asked if Man of Steel was nominated for any Oscars. No, it was nominated for some MTV Movie Awards and Teen Choice Awards and Critics' Choice Awards, but not for any Oscars.
Yeah,
And Man of Steel was more cerebral, more down, down low. I mean, you would think that despite whatever you might actually think of the movie, you would think of these two movies, which is the one that you would think the Academy might lean more towards.
Yeah.
It'd be Man
Yeah,
of
it was a
Steel,
more
even though
serious film.
again, whatever you may think of it, it's a more serious movie. So
so
it's
so
it's
I
a whole
guess we're
different
saying
ballgame.
that the 4-Hour Justice League should have been nominated because that actually, that actually tracks. I'm not even being
No,
sarcastic on that. I think the level of pretension in that movie matches what most Oscar nominated films have. So there you go. And
All
now I've
right.
upset all the Snyder
Now
fans. We are
we're
coming
just
for
making
everybody
enemies.
tonight.
Exactly. We're making enemies left, right, and center. All right. Well, James Gunn has done a few interviews this week across different podcasts and YouTube channels, and he unpacked DCU's future on a podcast. Well, actually, before we get into the podcast stuff, I started a bit of a war on our Facebook page, asking the serious question: why do and this goes with this came on the back of the for your consideration news item about the movie being put up for consideration for Oscar awards. I seriously asked the question: why do so many people seem to I don't know what's the word I use, I can't even remember now, but why does the success of James Gunn's Superman movie seem to disturb so many people or be a problem for so many people? I seriously didn't understand, because people saying, oh, this movie was crap and this movie doesn't deserve nominations and are they kidding? And it was just like, guys, like maybe it wasn't your cup of tea, but it's obviously been successful enough for Warner Brothers to deem it worthy of consideration for nominations. Why is that such a problem? Just because you don't like something, if you didn't like this movie, it doesn't mean other people didn't. And I don't understand why you want to trounce on that,
Uh,
because it's the
part of it
internet.
is that part of it is that you're thinking like a rational person.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm only halfway being sarcastic on that. The problem with the more devoted Snyder fans, especially, but I think you can talk about this with any fan group, and you look at the larger socio-political realm as well, is that for the last like 15 years, especially on social media, people getting into something, it becomes part of their identity. Like it becomes part of their personality. And when that happens, if it happens to a large enough degree, their brain will register any negative about what they love and any positive about what is the opposite of what they love as almost a physical attack.
Yes.
So it's almost like they really can't help it, is what I'm saying. And that's what I've really just come to the conclusion to when I was watching it. Because in the interviews that James Gunn did, there was a point where he said something like, well, if I'm the one making that decision, which everyone pounced on because it's just, because things at Warner Brothers are, hey, surprise everybody, up in the air again. But that led out like all these people wanting to bring the Snyderverse back, and I'm going to say two things. One, that's not going to happen. Unless the new owners of Warner Brothers are like devoted Snyder bros, I don't see it happening. But two, it's now so much of their personality that they can't enjoy anything else but this one version of Superman. And it's also on Facebook, which is a wretched hive of scum and villainy. The funniest thing that happened last week, Steve, was that I got a notice that there was a content warning on the Facebook page, and it was your comment, and I was just like, "What the heck is going on?"
Facebook.
Yeah, I just want to say also, there are people that just don't like James Gunn. They just don't like him, and that and that's another thing. Love or hate his movies. There are people who just don't like him personally and will just attack because of that.
Yeah.
Even if they saw Superman and liked the movie, well, okay, the movie's fine, but I can't stand James Gunn and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that as well.
Yeah, unfortunately. And just on, Michael, you mentioned that, and people have been talking left, right, and center about Warner Brothers being possibly sold again. This is nothing new in the grand scheme of things. You might remember, what was it, a few years ago, Warner Brothers Discovery became a thing because it was bought out and became Warner Brothers Discovery, AT&T, the whole if Warner Brothers does get purchased by somebody else, then it's obviously been deemed a profitable I wouldn't say profitable, because since COVID, nothing's been profitable in movie studio schemes of things. But it's obviously deemed a property that is something that they want to buy because they see value in it. I don't see whoever comes in buying Warner Brothers, if it does get sold, scrapping everything that's in place already. They're buying it because they see value in what is currently taking place and therefore want to continue. And don't forget, DC Studios is still a separate entity to Warner Brothers Discovery. While it's owned by them, James Gunn, as a CEO with Peter Safran, run that company still as their own thing. So just like DC Comics is owned by Warner Brothers, they still operate under their own power. So it doesn't necessarily mean that there is any kind of issue or problem if Warner Brothers Discovery or Warner Brothers Studios does get purchased. It doesn't necessarily mean that there could be a problem with the future of the DC universe. They are not necessarily one and the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's so fascinating to see everybody suddenly become experts in multimedia mergers and such. Paramount has made like 3 bids for it. They keep getting turned down. There's just a lot going on with that. But I think everybody is, pardon the turn of phrase here, gun shy about the idea of the mergers and the buyouts and stuff, is because it just keeps happening. It's just, there was a point where this was kind of a rare thing. Like, back in like the early 2000s when AOL bought Warner Brothers, and it was AOL Time Warner for a little bit. And that didn't really affect the day-to-day of us as fans. But also the world wasn't as connected back then. And, I'm sure people were chatting on it in message boards, but that's about where it went. Where now we have social media where everybody can talk about anything they want in the immediacy of the now. And I just think everybody gets so worried about what's going to happen to DC Comics. DC Comics is a $1 billion franchise, $1 billion group of IPs. Is it entirely possible that somebody could buy the company and say, we're not going to do comics anymore? We're just going to license the characters to television and movies and stuff like that? Maybe, but I don't think that's going to happen. They use the comics to get new ideas for the larger merchandising deals that they have. So it's just like one of those things where it's, as with everything these days, let's calm down and worry about things that actually matter.
And things we have control over.
Yeah, and things we have direct control over, which Warner Brothers is not one of them.
No. All right. Let's move on. So, yeah, as I said, James Gunn has participated in a few interviews on podcasts and YouTube channels of late, and had a few things to say about the future of the DC Universe. They're both up on our website. One was with Screen Crushers, Orion, New Rockstars, and Heather Antos. They all asked him questions about the future of the DCU. He spoke about Lex Luthor and the possibility of Ultraman being on that Salvation planet. He's saying that you just cannot travel somewhere and get to the Salvation place, but whether or not black holes and these dimensional doors are one and the same thing is up for debate. But he does say it would be a massive, massive coincidence if Ultraman happened to also end up on that same planet. So I don't think that that's something he's going to go with. But then on a different podcast, he spoke with Go Read Some Comics with Jenna, which is a channel on YouTube, and had this to say about some of the things that she asked him about. Have a listen.
Mystery still around this season is who is next to Lex in prison and who he's talking about in episode 6. Was there ever a version of that line that more clearly alluded to specific characters, or did you always kind of want to leave it open to interpretation?
It was really much more about, I mean, some people have said some of the people I thought it might be, but really it wasn't about that. It was about the fact that, you know, Lex is in this place where he's stuck next to these crazy human characters, basically, and has to put up with that world, which is exactly what he hates. He doesn't like metahumans. I think it's pretty clear in he hates Superman, but I think he doesn't really like metahumans as a whole. He thinks of them as cheating, basically. So, which is interesting for somebody who's so smart and genetically kind of hit the jackpot in terms of brain. And I don't know exactly how that's different than getting struck by lightning and being able to shoot, you know, beams out of your eyes or whatever.
There's just a bit on his thoughts on Lex Luthor hating metahumans. And Mind the Gap asked me, did I catch up on Peacemaker? Yes, I finished the 2 seasons now. I thoroughly enjoyed it for what it was and look forward to seeing how that all plays out. But I obviously watched that Lex Luthor episode. That Peacemaker featured the cameo by Nicholas Hoult, and Lex is obviously playing a part in the setup of this salvation idea where they will have a planet that is supposed to house metahumans as a prison world. So, yeah, interesting to see where they go with that. I did see somebody saying that Warner Brothers has registered Salvation Run as a trademark for things. So, interesting that they're going around down that track.
Oh God, it's gonna get a new trade paperback, and we're all gonna have to suffer through it again.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
I can't wait for the think pieces.
And this was between Infinite Crisis and Final Crisis when this came out. I'm confused as to what came out because Infinite Crisis had so many, you know, tie-ins, and then Final Crisis. So
Salvation Run tied into what's his name? He's no longer with us. Why can't I remember? Created Icon and wrote for Milestone and was Dwayne McDuffie. I feel really bad for not remembering that. I do vividly remember him chastising me at one point over one of the reviews I wrote of his Justice League run. I'm like, Dwayne, it's what you wrote in the script. I'm sorry. But there was a whole Injustice League storyline that kicked off his run on Justice League, and that led into Salvation Run. Salvation Run was supposed to be something completely different than what it ended up being, because DC was so messed up right after Infinite Crisis. I mean, that's like a whole like hour of discussion in and of itself. But it was just like one of these things that was meant to kind of lead into the larger unification of the DC universe and Final Crisis and all that, and none of it matches. None of it works.
No, I mean,
that's why I'm kind of fascinated that they're going to that well.
I read it. I just got so confused with everything that came out for Infinite Crisis and after, and everything that came out of Final Crisis. I was just, where was it placed? But I remember it, and at first I kind of remember, oh, this is okay, and then it just kind of like, yeah, it just petered out. It's like, what was the purpose of this? You know? So yeah, I don't know why he's going there if that's exactly where he's going, but
because it's a good concept. That's the thing, is that in and of itself, that is an interesting idea. It's just the comic book was just kind of bad.
All right,
sending them to another planet.
Yeah, we got to move on. We're getting lost in the weeds all over the place tonight, and I have a feeling it's my fault.
It's all good. But James Gunn has shared some storyboards for the upcoming Man of Tomorrow film. He does love to draw his storyboards with some detail, and there is a pile of what he's calling storyboard sequence number 3. So it's just a pile of paper from what we can see right there. Fans were getting more interested in the little figurines in the background and on the windowsills than with the pieces of paper that he showed, because you can't really see anything there. But he does say that some shots take up more than one card because of movement in the shot. So it's not just one shot per piece of paper. And then I saw some people bemoaning the fact that he's wasting forests by doing so many cards. But people complain about anything these days.
Yeah, let's complain about big huge corporations like printing out bin labels for their prices every week and wasting paper doing that. You know, I think what he's doing, you could eventually sell as art. So
yeah. Kara73 asks, what was Final Crisis? Does anybody want to weigh in on that one in a brief?
Okay.
Geez.
So, man, there's like 15 different answers to that. One of the most basic ones is it was, at the time, the culmination of everything Grant Morrison had been doing at DC Comics since he started writing Animal Man. If you want a actual plot, it was Darkseid wins, and the anti-life equation activates, and the entire world is put under Darkseid's control. There is also all this stuff with monitors and stories and vampires. It's a whole thing. It really is. If you want a good like distillation of it, read the novelization by Greg Cox, because it does a really good job of balancing both of those.
Thank you for that, Michael.
And Superman Beyond was really good.
Yes.
All right. Well, we don't have time to take a break, so we're just going to push on through some of our stories, because the Superman costume has gone missing from the Warner Brothers Studio Tour exhibit. It's actually not gone missing. It's been taken away. It's being used by production, says the sign that has been put in its place there at the Warner. So that's where it was. It was with the Lois Lane, Clark Kent, and Lex Luthor costumes, but then it's been replaced. This sign is replacing where the Superman costume was next to the Lex Luthor one. It says Superman costume currently being used by production. What production, you might ask? Man of Tomorrow is still... We just saw the storyboard cards. It's not moving forward yet with filming. Well, the word is that the Supergirl movie is doing 2 weeks worth of reshoots or pickups, those kinds of things, and it's currently taking place over the next 2 weeks. And if the costume has been removed from the which is surprising because you think they'd have multiples of these. Why would they just have to take the one that's on display?
Yeah.
But maybe it's the one that was closest to wherever they're filming, and maybe David Corenswet is wearing that costume in the production of the reshoots that they're doing for the Supergirl movie. That's what we're running with.
He's wearing it right now as we're recording.
Yeah.
Yes. And here he is. Welcome, David.
Is he here? Wow. He flew all the way to Australia. No, I think they're just being cryptic, meaning he is going to be doing some extra stuff in Supergirl. You may not be using that exact. So they just took it to put the sign up, just to say, "Oh, it's in production." Trying to tease us.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean,
I don't know why they would use
surprised.
that exact.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know why they would use that exact. But
there's only one Superman costume. Like
that's
in all of
point.
the production,
Yeah,
there was just one. They couldn't have spared another one. And I guess the spoiler there is that we're not going to see the other outfits that were part of that display as well. I just love that it's the most generic looking sign. I mean, it's got like
I know.
It's just like a metal sign like I got at work to put out signage and stuff, and it's just like
yeah,
just the symbol and the lettering. It's just like people coming to take pictures of this stuff are not going to want the sign. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm kind of bemused, but also quite interested. So there you have it. The belief is that he's wearing it to film reshoots for Supergirl, and if James Gunn has finished his script for Man of Tomorrow and wants some kind of final thing that like a cameo, like she turned up in his film to set up hers, and maybe he's showing up in her film to set up his next one. So that's the leading theory at the moment, but interesting that they put up that sign in its place. All right,
but if
let's push.
But if it's a flashback of him finding her, they should do it completely in shadow, like the pilot episode of the Supergirl television series. Just the costume,
yeah, we just see
but not David
his hand coming down into the.
Yeah, exactly. And people asking, when will the Supergirl trailer be released? I'm hearing December, but that would be probably the most likely. So we'll wait and see if there's a teaser of some kind before then. John Patrick Van Pelt asking, when are we going to do the regular segments? We're just about to jump into those right now. John, we are going to do the super secret soundbite first up.
Only one thing alive with less than 4 legs can hear this frequency, Superman, and that's you.
Yeah, well, the super secret soundbite from last month was this.
Lois Lane, we are so proud of you. And you brought fruit?
And that was the sound from the animated series My Adventures with Superman. And we had 3 people guess that correctly. They were Stephanie Logan, Ryan Ignatius Pratt, and Luke Lazalde. Well done to those 3 people for guessing that it was from the Season 1 finale, Hearts of the Fathers, Season 1, Episode 10. So congratulations for those 3 people guessing where in the world of Superman that sound came from. Let's see if more people can guess where this next super secret soundbite originates from.
Well, I hope you don't expect me to save you, because I don't do that anymore.
Don't worry. I'm long past saving.
So, do you think you know where in the world of Superman that sound comes from? If you do, don't say anything right now if you're watching live. Head to supermanhomepage.com. Under the contact menu, you will find the super secret soundbite entry form. Fill out the form, send your entry in, and we'll read out the names of the people who guess it correctly when we return to this segment at the end of November. So that's the super secret soundbite. All right, let's jump into the fan favorite segment of our show. All right, the fan favorite question of our show. Last week, the question was, what is your favorite Superman movie poster? And we had quite a few people send in their responses. Jamie's up first. Michael's going to read that. And Jamie, you described it, but I wasn't sure which one it was. So I apologize if the image I'm about to show for your answer is not the one that you were actually referencing.
Yeah, Jamie writes, my favorite Superman movie poster is from Brandon Routh's Superman flying with his arms out from Superman Returns. I have that hanging on my wall. I also love the new Superman movie poster with David Corenswet. The first one put out. I have many Superman movie posters of each Superman on my wall. Just love Superman. Would never have guessed that.
No, not at
You
all.
hide
Jamie.
that under a bushel.
So I do know this one was released in Australia. When you said both arms out, this is the only one I could find because there's most of the ones that had his arm. It was just one arm. But thank you, Jamie, for your answer.
Is it the one where he's hovering over the Earth?
Yeah, but his arms aren't out. They're just by his side on that one.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Huh.
If it's to his sides, as Jamie says, then that's the one where he's floating above the Earth. That would make sense. So, yeah. All right. Thank you, Jamie, for clarifying that. Mark, who's up next?
Wonder wrote, my favorite Superman poster is from Man of Steel. I wish the movie was more in this vibe, personally. These are the other two of my top three that I absolutely love.
Yeah, so that was the Man of Steel one there. Then there's this one that Wonder sent in, and then this one from the new 2025 film, which is a great poster as well. Thank you to Wonder. John Patrick Van Pelt wrote, here are my favorite two Superman movie posters that I really enjoy growing up with as a kid when we still used VHS tapes back in the day. That is from Superman the movie, and this one from Superman 2. Thank you very much, John.
I'm kind of always fascinated to see the Twin Towers
Yes.
they still kind of put that out. It's just like, okay, apparently we've moved on. Kara Luca wrote, my favorite Superman movie poster is the one from Superman the movie. It's simple yet elegant and brings you into the movie. The tagline is the best part. You'll believe a man can fly.
Thank you very much, Kara.
And Ryan Ignatius Pratt wrote, while not my favorite Superman movie, I have nevertheless always loved this simple yet striking poster for Superman Returns with the raised ass shield. It would be my favorite Superman movie poster.
Thank you very much, Ryan. And finally, not answering this question, but answering last week's question, Kirby Lindell wrote, can't believe I missed the Superman songs last week, but my favorite are Wish I Could Fly Like Superman by the Kinks and the Jimmy Olsen Blues by the Spin Doctors, although it's really not mentioning Superman, but Superman. So thank you very much, Kirby, and thank you everyone who replied to this week's fan favorite question. Do you guys, Michael, you got a few posters behind you, but do you have a favorite movie poster?
I really don't. Oddly enough, there hasn't been a Superman movie poster that has really like reached the heights to me of like the Batman poster from 1989, which is just that symbol. Like it just perfectly encapsulated everything. I like most of the posters, but there isn't one that I'm like, ooh, that's my absolute favorite.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I mean, I'll obviously, go to Superman the movie and any of those posters that I just remember seeing them, out as a kid and just loving and couldn't wait to go see the movie, So, but that's about all I can really say.
Yeah, I love obviously the Superman the movie one. It's just classic. But yeah, I'm with you, Michael. There haven't been really any that Superman Returns had a lot. Like there were a lot of variations that were available in different countries and what have you. So some of those were really cool. I like that one that I showed that was here in Australia. I had that. I've got a whole cupboard for. I don't have enough wall space for movie posters.
Yeah,
it's a problem.
And just as a warning, these are coming down in the next couple of weeks, just to let you all know. It's going to be a white wall for a little while as we pack up more of the house.
So Kara's congratulating you on pronouncing her surname correctly,
Yeah,
Michael.
I'm glad I was a total like shot in the dark, which is if you go back to the tape, it's me saying Kara. Like if I get it wrong, it's not as like loud and out there. But for some reason, I just looked at that name and I'm like, I want to say Lucker, but that sounds like not a name. That sounds. I just got a feeling that there was a different pronunciation to it.
Well, you got it right. So well done. All right. Our new fan favorite question for this week is: what is your favorite Superman Blu-ray or DVD cover or box artwork? There's been a few great ones over the years. So the email address to send your responses to, along with photos if you have them, is info@supermanhomepage.com. That's info@supermanhomepage.com to send your responses to the fan favorite question. And for those who are listening to the podcast at the as an after thing rather than the live show on video, we try to describe as many things as we can that we are showing, but always that's not always as possible. But thank you for being part of the show regardless. All right, let's move into what have we got? I think that's the end of our fan favorite and the Super Secret sound bite. I think we've covered all bases. This week in history. Let's go with Michael Bailey right now.
Come with me now, my son, as we break through the bottles of your earthly confinement, traveling through time and space.
Very lopsided in the comic books this week, but we are going to go back to 1945 with World's Finest number 20, where Batman and Robin are body shaming, or Batman and Superman are body shaming Robin for some reason. I have no idea why. That seems like a mean thing to do. Around the same time period, Superman number 38 came out, which has, I was about to say that's one of those classic covers of. Those are some big shears, too. 1955, we have Action Comics number 211, which has very kind of multifaceted. That's a really busy cover. I'm not really a big fan of that. And then Adventure Comics number 2.
I don't think the Eiffel Tower is to scale in that photo.
No, I don't think it is either. Because, I mean, is he like lifting up like a paper mache version? That's what it kind of looks like. Also, Adventure Comics number 219 came out. It's 1950s. It's DC Comics, so there is a gorilla on the cover. Gorillas were a big thing in the 50s and 60s at DC. 1965, we have Action Comics number 331, where Clark Kent is masquerading as Superman. That would never work. Adventure Comics number 339. So we're deeper into the 60s. So this is going to be a Legion of Superheroes things where for some reason Superman is punching Mon-El in the face. Justice League of America number 41 with The Key, who is a classic JLA villain, and World's Finest number 154. It's really kind of interesting to see when you're doing these things of like when a bunch of books came out. It's like Action Comics and World's Finest and Adventure Comics are all usually lumped together. 1975, speaking of World's Finest Comics, number 235, somebody manhandling their Superman action figure. I do not approve. And Action Comics number 455, which it's Superman getting stomped on by a robot with Green Arrow in the background and the Atom. I'm sure they're going to help. I'm sure if Superman's in trouble, Green Arrow and the Atom are the ones that are come save the day. 1985, very important issue of Crisis on Infinite Earths. This is after the Earths have merged. I apologize if that's a spoiler for a 40-year-old comic. But Superman, both Superman, Earth 1 and Earth 2, are featured heavily in this one. So it's some really great art from Perez and Ordway. 1995, we have Adventures of Superman number 530. This is an Underworld Unleashed crossover with the Helgramite, or Helgramite, however you want to pronounce it. And I'm sure there's some Trial of Superman in there too. The Doomsday Annual from the Year One annual line, that has some interesting stories in it. I remember really enjoying that. Showcase 95, number 12, which has a certain Girl of Steel on the cover. I believe this has a story by Peter David. That's kind of one of the lead-ins to the series that comes in 1996. Steel, number 22, with a really great cover of Steel teaming up with Supergirl and the Eradicator. And Superman, the Man of Steel Gallery, number 1. This was a bunch of pinups and artwork and stuff. It was a really neat special. I enjoyed that quite a bit back then. 2005, we have Adventures of Superman number 645, which is an Infinite Crisis crossover. And JSA Classified number 4, where we get the wrap up to the explanation of what the heck is going on with Power Girl, And in 2015, one book, Superman number 45, which is once more of the whole truth thing. So whatever. In the real world, October 26th, 10 years ago yesterday, y'all, Supergirl premiered on CBS. Excuse me, it was not on the CW. It was on CBS. I can't believe I almost got that wrong. And then on the 27th, we have Jeff East, born in 1957. I hope that he is today celebrating with the libation of his choice. And also Melanie Minicino, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, who voices the role of Cat Grant on My Adventures of Superman, was born on this day, and that is This Week in History.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Michael, for that flashback through time. Very cool. All right, as we get into the last couple of minutes of tonight's show, there's some merchandise out there that fans might want to touch base with. On the comic book side of things, firstly, there's the solicitations for January that were released by DC Comics. So there are a couple of books that you might be interested in checking out. We've got Superman number, which one is that? That's Superman number 34. That's the cover right there. And then we've got Action Comics 1094 coming out in January as well. So the complete solicitations for all the Superman comic books are up on our website if you want to check those out. Fonjoy are releasing a battle-damaged, turn that one off there, a battle-damaged Superman action figure. But this one is a 1/9 scale action figure that will not be available out until January, but they're taking pre-orders now. This is $94, and it comes with a couple of different heads and hand sculpts and things like that. So that is available if you're into the action figure side of things. Fanatic is releasing a limited edition Superman ingot. It's a 2025 Last Son of Krypton ingot, and is available for, it's a limited edition, as I said, a pin badge, and they've also got a keychain and things like that. So that's, if you're interested in that kind of a collectible, limited to just 5,000 pieces. For people who are into their Hawaiian shirts, there is this, I'll turn that one off there. There is this great looking shirt from Rain Spooner, out available for, this one's not cheap. It's $128 US. I don't know why, but it's...
What?
Yes, I know. I don't know why shirts are that expensive. And if you're into makeup for the ladies, or guys, if you're into it, there is She Glam have launched their own Good Grip Primer collection inspired by the new movie. There is a soothing primer. There's an illuminating primer. There's other different things in there that are available for anyone who is interested in these types of products. Again, these are all up on our website for you to check out all the details. But that pretty much brings us to the end of tonight's episode. Before we sign off, I want to thank my two co-hosts, Michael Bailey. Thank you, Michael.
Pleasure as always.
And Mark Lax. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, gentlemen.
And thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight, who spent the last hour with us. We really appreciate your company. Thank you to our sponsors and our patrons, to Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, Tina Murray, Rick Schutzau, Jamie Klingensmith, and Kara Lucker. Thank you so much for your financial support of the show. And remember, if you tuned in late, missed part of the show, you can check it all out all over again, both on our website and on our YouTube channel. Michael, Mark, and I will be back next week for another edition of Superman Homepage Live on... Do you guys change daylight saving this coming weekend?
Oh, man, that's a good question.
I think it's the first Sunday, I believe so, in November.
So, for everybody...
March 9th. Sunday, November 2nd, yeah.
Okay, so you guys change...
fall back.
You fall back. So the time will still be 7:30 p.m. Pacific time for people in the US. For us in the Southern Hemisphere, it means it will move an hour later in the day. So if you're in Sydney like me, it will be 2:30 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon. But for everybody else in America, still 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, so don't stress out there. We'll be back next Monday, November 3rd for that show. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. Don't forget my new book, Beyond the Cape, is still available on Amazon if you haven't purchased it yet. I'm Steve Eunice. On behalf of myself, Michael Bailey, Mark Lax, thanks for watching Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com. Good night.